Can we take apologies for absence?
Councillor Bruce Moore.
Councillor Reid.
Councillor Thompson.
Item 2, disclosure of interests and grants of dispensation. Are there any? None. Item 3, minutes of the previous meeting. To agree the minutes of the meeting held on the 22nd of January. And the budget's incorporated into the minutes. Okay.
If I could, Ma'am, just with the budget, the system for moving it into the minute hasn't worked very well to reproduction. But if anybody wants the Excel spreadsheet, just please ask. Do you like the spreadsheet?
Just a question.
Right, what?
I don't know whether I should ask the question in this one or in the community grants committee one. But there was a question raised at the last Blyth Town full meeting in public question time. And I spoke to the gentleman, it was George, afterwards, and he was still confused. And we have discussed it in a committee. But when a councillor makes a grant, I think we should be making aware that it's not the councillor that approves the grant, whether it's to a limited company that's gone bust or whether it's to a limited company that's got dodgy directors. I think we're going to make it clear as a full council who actually approves the awarding of the grant. And it's not the individual councillor, it is the full council. And I just really need to get that message across, because people out there don't understand. I think an individual councillor can award a grant when he can't.
That's been made pretty clear in the past.
Yeah, it is noted in the grants committee minutes. He asked that question. It's the council that may put the proposal forward, the committee agrees it, and then it's the full council that agrees the amount.
There is individuals that are still confused by that, Chair. I still think that that councillor gave £1,000 to a group who are a limited company, and there should be an investigation. And, you know,
well, you can write in and ask the question.
What, sorry?
They can write in and ask the question if
yeah.
Don't come, and then they'll get a reply from one of the officers.
Just to make it clear, we don't want to confuse the public into making false allegations about individual councillors or the town council itself. So it would probably be best to educate the public on who actually makes the decision. You know, councillors just recommend their money to be spent on a certain entity.
We'll undertake to review the wording on the website and on the documentation with a view to making some clarification, and we're also going to be pushing on the complaints procedure as well. So if anyone's got concerns, they have to go through a proper procedure and fill in a complaints form. Okay, so it ties the whole lot up.
There's nothing to stop individuals writing in and asking questions. Right. To agree the minutes of the meeting held on the 22nd of January. Agreed.
Agreed.
And we need to go through
I think, Ma'am, we did. It's a new item that we've put on the agendas that we circulate the chairs about, and that's the action since the last meeting. It just means that if there's something that's not elsewhere on the report, it means that we could update the town council just on if there are actions to do. It also means that we can not lose track of things, if you know what I mean, as well. So it's an item, it might just be best taking it sort of page by page, just if there is something and people can say, oh, there's that. I've got one, oh, there's that, just to update you on.
Right, page 1 of the meeting held on the 22nd of January. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5, page 6.
This is where I've got just the one bit, just to update the council. It's on the local council award scheme at the top, and it's just to say that we're having an informal meeting of officers and yourself next Thursday, so that we can start the ball rolling on, you know, making progress to look at getting the award in the next municipal year.
Okay, page 7. And there's the revised proposed budget papers after that. And the future future of housing provision in Blyth, report and recording meetings. So, nothing on any of those. Okay. Are there any more action?
No, not at the moment that needs bottling.
Item 5, minutes of the allotments committee. There was no meeting with the allotments committee taking place since the last meeting of the full council. However, attention is drawn to the attached example site plan of all the mapping allotments, and then the site plans of the other allotments available, isn't there?
Yeah, I'd better not mess them up.
No.
If I can open the top one and hold it. Have I got one?
Yeah.
Sorry. I am holding it, looking at it backwards.
So they will be available for
We're
people
going to put them onto the
to
website
look
as well.
at, yeah, on
We'll
the
have some
website.
hard copies.
Okay, but if, in the meantime, if you want to see any particular site, then you have to come down here and look at them. Okay. Right. Item 6, minutes of the assets committee.
Put these minutes forward to be approved and adopted.
And can have a verbal update on the partnership board for today's meeting.
Madam Mayor, can I just mention on the minutes, start on page 3, there's a comment there about the Axel Drive play area. Can I say, we spent a lot of money on that area. I was very disappointed to see it's been vandalised in a matter of weeks since that was done. Some of the trees being damaged and some of the play area. And it's really unfortunate to spend money now on repairs to the playground areas when we really prefer to redo, new playground areas. It's a very good area, it's been very well used. It's just a shame it's been vandalised.
I'll just go through the pages quickly before we do the next item. Page 2, page 3, page 4, and page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, and page 10. Okay. Now, partnership board meeting.
Yes, there are the minutes, ma'am, of the board that was held on the 19th of February, which are there for information.
Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, and page 6. Are they agreed? And the true record.
Liam, I wonder if you could just show some of the photographs that were displayed at the partnership board today, because I think members of the public and the council may find it quite interesting. That is a before shot of somebody.
Brookside Avenue.
Side close.
Brookside Close.
If you hit the, there it is, and then if you hit the, this is now what it looks like. This is what we wanted the team to get doing, that when they weren't grass cutting, to get in and make environmental improvements, and that, is one of them. I think there are other bits as well, yeah. And that then is the approaching in now, you can South Beach, you can do what they've actually done and try to work out. It's trees and plants, isn't it?
They took away the existing trees and now they've got, it's like a wild meadow and wild flowers at the front and behind, and has some other new trees at the back. That's obviously a before photograph, and obviously that's... And we're doing a similar project on the roundabout at the bottom of Lavercourt Road, South Eastern Road, and the roundabout in Newsham is due for refurbishment as well, next to the Black Diamond and
And did I pick up that there's a whole, well, it sounded like an awful lot of bulbs going in on the Broadway?
Broadway's going to be a while, I know that started today.
Yeah, this morning on Broadway Circle we're planting bluebells and snowdrops and other things, so it'd make a big difference to the
It's all incorporated into Northumbrian Blue, like scheme.
40,000.
And those, it sounded a lot.
Councillor Gibbs?
Can you start the news and roundabout one won't be done until later in the year, May-ish, because we've got to wait for the ploughing season to finish.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be done.
And it's going to be in line with the judging as well, so put the plants in and get the countries.
Because we're involved in Britain and Northumberland and Bloom and Blyth and Bloom. Any more shots?
I don't get any more shots, but I think the edging, doing the path edging now seems to be making, as I've been driving in, does seem to make a considerable difference. I think the joint team is now working very well.
I think the dashboard approach that we've gone to for reporting progress is a much better way of doing things. It means there's greater flexibility for the Blyth team to actually address some issues that aren't to do with grass cutting or pruning. And we've actually identified people within the team in partnership with County who can do other roles, and we're looking at providing them with tools so that if there is a gate on a play area that's loose or something else minor, they can get on and mend it at the time rather than it wait 3 months for someone to approve it at a committee meeting. Sean's busy reviewing a lot of photographic information, and the idea is we're going to put on the website by area a before and after picture, what the area looked like and what it should look like when the team have visited, so that if anyone has any concerns, they can come back to us and let us know if they don't think the standards are being achieved. We thought a visual standard was better than having a written target of 27 cuts for the grass a year. So it's a whole range of things that have been done, and the team actually met this morning. Every member of the partnership team came in, had a breakfast meeting, and then we had the management board, and they were thanked for their contribution and were encouraged to do more for Blyth in the future. But it's a 5-year agreement, and hopefully it will continue.
Right, Sean, do you want to update us on the play area?
Just one thing, Mark. Was there a set of purchasing that we just wanted to be...
Yes, I mentioned the tools.
Yeah, just to be ratified, the purchase.
Yeah.
I don't have the papers.
I've sent an email to
all
the
of
ethics
them.
committee for...
Just to clarify, there was a question raised as to whether the partnership board can actually spend money or not, or whether it's got to go through council. So we're approving expenditure tonight, but in the future there'll be a paper to sort of say, yes, the partnership board can just get on it and deal with it.
The agreement gives me authority to approve unless the councillors present object. That's why I asked the councillors at the board meeting whether they had any objections. But, it's just over £2,000 and it would come from the already allocated money. It's not new expenditure.
It just means...
So we've had agreed by everyone? Yeah. Okay. Update the plans for Lord Brief.
We're back on the county council now. The way the plan of the play area is approached, that we don't need formal planning permission now for the play area. I've had to change one bit of the kit because obviously that fell outside the parameters. It's been changed now to bring it in line, and I've got a meeting earmarked for late next week for the installation programme, and the dates will be when we get it once I get the contractors, the dates for the actual installation of the play area, and I'll update everybody as and when I get new information.
It was just to say that we had to do a slight alteration because you can't have something over 4 metres high to benefit from the permitted development rights. So a climbing something that was going to be 5 would drop down in height, so we can get on with it and not have to go through the rigmarole of getting planning permission. We can rely on our deed rights. Forward declining 5 years.
And also we've got the licence offer for the actual land to be transferred to Blyth Council.
We will ensure, sir, that we get something for you to fly.
Can you give the rest of us notice so we can
Yeah, exactly.
One of
Absolutely.
these rotations.
I'm sure Sean's going to be really excited when this is finished. He's been looking forward to it for such a long time, hasn't he? Leslie.
I just wanted to thank you all for all this hard work. You know, I've been waiting with bated breath, and I have had residents asking me what the progress is, so I can now inform them. I've been keeping them up to date, and I'm just pleased that finally we are going to have this little division, because it's been long awaited and has been. Whilst I've got the floor, can I also thank you for the improvements to the roundabout? I thought the photograph was fantastic because it looked like a huge long piece of road, but it is only a little roundabout, but it was great.
Thank you. Right, minutes of the Community Grants Committee.
Madam Mayor, the minutes of the Grants Committee held on 12th of February approved and adopted.
Right, page 1, page 2.
Second one from the bottom there, some except for the net here. It's the second award they've had this year. Had one in June at 15,000 from, and here's another one being given.
Which one's this?
Community involved reaction.
Yeah. This is an award for work they are going to deliver for Blyth Town Council as opposed to their own work. This is additional work that we are working in partnership on. So it's beyond the parameter, and there's nowhere else for that funding to come from.
That's fine. This wasn't explained that way, did it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
So I'm okay, not the people.
Yes, no problem.
Item 3, page 3.
And it's all about community liaison and using the existing community groups that are out there.
Anything on page 3? No. Page 4. And there's a list of the grant application and granted on the next pages. Minutes of the Council's Events Committee held on Tuesday the 27th of January.
Madam Mayor, can I take both of them together, because we've got 27th of January and 24th of February, and we roll out in February, okay, right? And Mayor, can I these minutes of the events committee held on the 27th of January, approved and adopted?
Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6. Right. Now the minutes of the Council Events Committee on the 24th of February.
Madam Mayor, once again, can I have you submit the events committee held on the 24th of February, be approved and adopted?
Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, and page 6. I agree, Councillor. What page, sorry?
Can I show the adoption of the, which is a question on the attention of the forthcoming per-hour events for
Where's that on the?
It's on the agenda, just under 8.2.
Page 2. On the minutes of the 24th.
It's on the agenda. I agree.
Oh, they agree.
Will you be doing the other one or on the other ones on the agenda?
Do you want us to bring it up now? I'll have it on later on at the end. Councillor Ellis will get this sorted out.
He's got a question. Councillor, just keep on that item. On item 13915.04.
No, it's just, I just wanted to get that to bring the attention of a new event. I'm just saying, I'm not disputing the minutes. It's just that there's a new event at Blyth Hearts Jazz Band for an event on the 28th of June at the News and Pavilion. It's just to bring to the attention and see what we included into the full town council. I don't think we'll get an opportunity again. They're having a carnival that the town's never had for about 20 years, and we're trying to get them to put a show on the streets and use them for the blind people. I'm just wondering if that can be included into that event or the 31st of March.
I would just put it on the website.
And can I just mention that it needs to come up with the events anyway, 'cause it's not the place today to bring it up.
It's certainly, you've emailed it, I've emailed it through to the people who deal with the events committee for them to then...
Just really make the whole town council aware that this event is on the 20th of June, and that we can see to support it, whether it should be mentioned tonight or not. Thank you.
I'll take it on later.
Right.
Minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held on the 5th of March.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to hold the minutes of the Finance Committee held on 5th March to approve and adopt it.
Okay. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Which item?
Page 4, item 5.2. We had a long discussion at the last Finance Committee meeting, and obviously there was a decision made. I wasn't aware at that time that there was so much held in reserves in this council. I believe it's up to £400,000 is held as of today in reserves, and I would just like to bring the attention of the full town council to see what would probably steer that decision. And look at alternative means of utilising that money rather than putting it in a bank account.
I think that should be an item to be put on an agenda, future agenda.
Is the town council not like an opportunity to ask the full council to overrule a decision? Is that not what we're here for? So once you agree a minute tonight, is that then, so where it was agreed at the Finance Committee that we've got around £400,000 reserves, we're going to invest £250,000 into a bank account, or two bank accounts, or two investment accounts.
You've already had your say on this.
But is this not a transfer the town council to overrule that?
Councillor Potts first. Councillor Potts.
It's on a point of order here,
Okay.
Madam Mayor.
Sorry.
In terms of procedure, is Councillor Elliott not aware that if he wants to challenge the decision of the committee, yes, he's right with regard to this council, but you have to formally move a motion to change a decision or to change a minute. That then has to be seconded. Councillor Elliott has got a track record of putting proposals that no one else on this authority either supports or agrees with. And on that basis, he hasn't had a seconder. Now, having brought it to his attention, if he wants to change a decision of a committee or of this authority, then he has to formally put that as a proposal. And to date, he hasn't done it for tonight.
Councillor Potts.
Can I just refer people back to the minutes of the last council meeting on the 22nd of January, when we discussed the budget. Look at what was page 3 of those minutes on the 22nd of January, which we've just approved. We discussed the budget there, and what was page 3. If you go over to page 4, you'll see that Councillor Reid noted his support for the budget, but expressed concern as to the gap to occur next year, given the amount being drawn from reserves. Councillor Reid was complaining that we're taking too much out of reserves and the reserves will be too low. If you read the next sentence, Councillor Elliott also expressed concerns as to the amount being drawn from reserves. So at that meeting, he was saying he thought the reserves were too low. And now at this meeting, he's saying the reserves are too high. What you need to remember is the budget we've got now was set in January. Not January this year, but January last year. January 2014. The budget is set at that January meeting, and that's the time to express your opinion on reserves and budgets and what we're going to spend. We've already set the budget in January this year, for next year, for 15-16. And that's the time when you need to express your views on what the balances should be and what we're going to spend money on. You don't come 2 weeks before the end of the financial year to raise issues like this. You do it you do it at the budget meeting. You've got to plan like 15 months ahead. When we set the budget in January 2014, that's what we're looking at. The budget, what our income's going to be, what our expenditure is going to be, and how much we left at the end of the year. What we're doing now is finishing off the last 2 weeks of this year. We talked about a year past January. That's the time to discuss the budget. If you wanted it to change the budget, it's at the budget setting meeting, not partly through the year. We're not going to go through the process of changing the whole budget that we set 15 months ago nearly. You know, it's the budget setting time you need to discuss those sort of issues, not now.
Councillor Elliott, have you got something else to say?
Yeah, come back with probably 3 points. One, I agree with Councillor John Potts on that, but had I been aware that there was a current account chequebook with probably 350 grand in, I would have been able to have a good contribution to the 3 previous ones. So I fully agree with you, but as you were aware at the last Finance Committee meeting, it took a lot of effort to extract the information from Councillor.
Excuse me, can I just say?
Can I just come back on that?
Sorry, I haven't finished. I said a 3 point, whatever. The second point is I don't need to be constantly reminded by Councillor Gordon Knox on proposals and seconders. I'm quite aware of that. So I don't need to be constantly reminded at committee meetings by Mr Knox about that. Third one, a little bit of advice from Stephen Rickett, if I could, is I was led to believe that when we had our finance committees, grants committees, planning committees, that agreements were made but they had to be ratified at this full council. And what I brought up at the beginning of this was to the Mayor is, are you allowed to question a decision that was made by a committee at full council in order that we can overturn it? If I've got that wrong, then fair enough, it's a learning point, but that is what I thought the full council was, for to challenge a committee's decision and possibly overturn it, which may result in me putting a proposal here tonight.
Well, can I just repeat that? The time for that is at the budget setting meeting. That's when you decide what your income's going to be, what your expenditure's going to be. You know what the balance brought forward is, so you know what you're going to end up with every year. So that's the time to do
But
it.
I'm not challenging the 100 grand and the 150 grand we put in investment accounts. I'm not challenging the budget. I'm challenging the decision made at the last Grants Committee, which were trying to agree as a true record, and I was led to believe that this town council is an opportunity, although you've approved of the committee democratically,
And you were part of that committee.
and I objected to it,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is I was led to believe at the full town council you could challenge that decision, so that because once it is approved tonight, then it becomes statute type of thing. And I was led at full town council to challenge that.
You should have had a motion in.
What are you actually challenging though? The amount we've got in the bank?
No, but the point is, if I didn't know about that current account and the amount that
But
was
you
in
did,
it, does
I'm
the rest of
sorry.
the does the rest of the council know that?
Excuse me, anyone can go and see the accounts any time, right? And you get reports from the finance.
Yeah,
Sorry, Stephen hasn't answered the question that I asked.
Well, can I just say, on the finance committee, you get sent all the budget papers. They're there. And I know you've raised this issue of bank
The
accounts over and over
reconciliation
again, but it's there.
statement states how much
I'm happy I've got the
fluidity
current
there
account
is.
now. I've got the current account now. I've
You've
got the
always
account
had
number.
that.
I've never had the account
You-
number. I've never had the current account
Well,
number.
if I was you, I'd be worried about having the account number.
Sorry,
I
Stephen
wouldn't
hasn't
ask
answered the
you.
question. Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm chairing this meeting.
But he hasn't answered the question.
I'll call on him in a minute. Right,
To
okay.
finish off.
Mr. Rickett?
Just on the final point, no, I think is the answer. Decisions can be made by committees of this council in accordance with the scheme that establishes the committees, and usually, in fact almost inevitably, it is part of the annual meeting agenda each May which establishes the committees and sets their terms of reference and their powers. If I look at the agenda, you will see our style of agenda has now changed. It is to note and adopt the minutes, so that it's bringing them to everyone's attention, but then we are now putting specific points to you to say, this is an interesting point, or if I could slightly jump ahead to 10.3, there are certain items that a committee will say, it's a policy matter, we would like the full council to consider it. 10.3, what we're saying there, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but it's the example, is we would like the full council to agree a response. So, no, the powers and decisions sit with the committees. That's the scheme of delegation that we've got. And otherwise, just to do it, you know, with a council of our size, we sort of almost be paralysed, because you'd have to be waiting for a full council meeting before you could be certain. So we get decisions made at committees. If they're significant decisions outside the agreed policy, then we would bring it up, or the committee would bring it up, and that's how our style of agenda is developing, I think. So it aids councillors by saying, look at this, you know, as a key point of interest, say, take the events committee, look at the programme, because we want to draw people's attention to that. And then 10.3 is an example of where we say, here's something that, in this case it was timing, but it could be, we want the full council to take a view on it. Full council's taking a view on its budget, and the finance committee are implementing parts of it. So I'm sorry that sounds a bit long, but I think it would have to say that the committees do have authority to make decisions to bind the council.
Right.
So they don't need ratifying by this council, by the full council. They can be made and action based on the committees.
If councillors wish to question and check that decisions have been made in a way, that's one thing. You know, it's a part of our quality process, and, you know, ensuring that discussion has been carried out in the committee.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? Is it necessary for all councillors to know the bank account numbers?
Only one councillor has asked for the information.
Not really. If you want to know, you come and ask. But I mean, me personally, I don't think it's necessary for everybody to know.
Councillor, I think Mr. Ricketts explained everything to you. Is it about something else? Or?
Yeah.
Can I, Madam Mayor, can I just say to every councillor in here, everybody's got the right to go and question the accounts whenever they want to. It doesn't have to keep coming up time after time, wasting officers' time. They've got a job to do, the same as anybody else, and we need to respect that.
Right, Ross?
Yeah, just a two-point answer to Councillor Margaret Parker. Basically, to help the answer, at the Finance Committee, what they do, they produce a sheet of paper and they put the deposit account numbers on, but they've omitted for the past year and a half the current account number. So that answers your question. Sorry.
Look,
I haven't omitted.
Sorry.
You've been told
Sorry,
what was decided.
no, I think you've said enough about it.
Second part.
I think you've had your say
Sorry.
about it, unless it's about something
It
different.
is about something to respond to Stephen. Would it be considered a significant issue to raise at the town council meeting that we've got around £450,000 in reserves when we're doing it? Would that be considered a significant issue to talk about?
I think you're electioneering now.
Sorry, I'm not electioneering. That's
Yes,
absolutely out of order.
Can
I'm
I
not.
return the question if
Sorry,
I may?
I'm not electioneering. I'm talking about facts.
Well, I'm not a politician. May I return a question?
Yes.
If we had no reserves, how would we have been able to underwrite this year's preset and reduce the cost to the public?
The Northumberland Council would have had to raise theirs and it would have caused a referendum. So you've answered it. But the point I'm trying to make is this council's underspent 36%, an average of 36% every year. So we're budgeting a year in advance, underspending 36%.
Not this year.
And is it significant to have 400 grand cash in the bank
We
without
are 5
3
years.
Councillor Elliott, I think you've made your point about that, right? And if you want any more information about the accounts, they've been open to you, you've seen them, everything, there's nothing else to see.
Just put the current account on the next finance committee, please.
Can I just make a point? Look, I know councillor keeps going on about the current account. Local authorities don't use the current account to run their business. What we use is the cash book and the budget. Every single financial transaction is in the cash book. The bank statement is merely a snapshot in time to show you how many.
And that's
Our cash book is much more up to date than the bank statement. When we get the bank statement, all we do is we go through the statement, we do a reconciliation to make sure the bank hasn't made any mistakes. The only thing the bank tells us is bank interest and bank charges. Everything else is in the cash book. That's what the local authority uses. The statement doesn't have checks you might have written today, or checks we've sent out, or checks suppliers have got to be cashed yet. It hasn't got direct debits that have gone out, or direct credits. Any bank money is being cashed through the ATM machine. The bank statement is not really relevant to the accounts. It's the cash book. Now, I know you've raised this over and over again, but you just don't seem to grasp. Forget about the bank statement. We don't use that to run the accounts. We use the cash book. Every single financial transaction is in the cash book. The budget is automatically updated from the cash book. So we set the budget at the start of the year.
Does the cash come from the current account?
It doesn't matter what it comes to.
Does it come from the current account?
It's everything is
Sorry.
in.
No.
Does
No,
the cash
no, it
come
doesn't.
from the current account?
Everything is
Where does
in
the cash
the
come from?
Councillor Elliott,
Look.
someone speaking.
Everything is in the cash book. So when money was put into the bank, it's in the cash book.
I've got Councillor
When it's
Gibbs
taken out of the bank, it's in the cash book. When we write a cheque, it's in the cash book. When we put money in petty cash, it's in the cash book. That's where you look to
That's
see
our
the transaction.
control.
And that's what you get every month, the cash book. It doesn't matter whether we've got money in, you keep a bank account, we only deal with one bank, the Co-op. We've got two bank accounts, a current account for the chequebook and a deposit account. One current account, one deposit account.
And we're in
If
the
we take
process
any
of
money out of the
shutting
bank for the petty cash, it's in the cash book. The budget automatically gets updated, but the budget is different to the bank statement for a whole variety of reasons, but it's the cash book you need to look at. The budget is what we set at the start of the year. This is what expected income, this is what expected expenditure, that's what we start with, and that's what we finish with. On that budget sheet, there's a figure at the bottom. That's what's going to be carried forward until the money gets spent. I don't know why you keep going on about bank statements. They're not really relevant. You can look at a bank statement. You can go in there now and look at a bank statement. It won't tell you what our situation is now with this current council. It might tell you what it was like last February when that statement came out.
Where does the cash come from for the cash book?
Councillor Elliott.
The cash book is...
Where does the cash come for the cash book?
Well,
Please answer.
well, we get the income
The
is
current
from...
account.
No,
Councillor Elliott, will
the
you please
income comes...
control yourself?
He's not answering.
The income comes from...
Point of order here.
No,
Point of order.
have you seen the budget sheet? Have you seen the income items? Part of it comes from the parish precept, it's there. Part of it comes from bank interest, it's there. There's an issue about VAT. There's income from allotment rents. There's income from donations. All the income is there. And all of that is in the cash book in the accounts. There is nothing else.
Okay, I'll
No, Councillor Gibbs.
Sorry, I'll come.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I've got 2 points.
Sorry.
Firstly, it's actually to question the minutes at 5.2, because on the night, I think yourself and Councillor Johncock will remember that I suggested that the Finance Committee be given a final consideration among the papers, and that isn't reflected in the minutes. And I think that should be added as a bank rec, which can be done.
Right, is that agreed?
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
I withdraw the comment. Thank you.
It was missed out of the pack of papers that meeting apparently. It normally is part of the meeting.
And the second point is, the minutes was on the agenda to discuss the use of the money, not the amount of the money, and to best use the balances, however much there might be, by putting them into CCLA accounts. And we've yet again got lost in other discussions, rather than discussing the alternatives which were looked at, and the CCLA accounts which were chosen because they are appropriate to an amount of balances, however much that might be, and is used by other councils from parish level to large district level, as opposed to putting them in a high street bank account. And that was the idea of the minutes, of the agenda item. And yet again, we've got diverted from the to have been closed, what we all know as conventional deposit accounts, where money can be put on short or long-term deposit, if you put into a CTLA account.
Right, we'll go back to page 4, page 5, page 6, and page 7.